Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is
expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously.
The WNBA is facing serious money troubles, and there's no way to stop the damage without Caitlin Clark back on the court. It's yet another sign that the league still hasn't figured out how to protect the one player who pulled it out of the shadows and into the spotlight. This is a league that keeps shooting itself in the foot while its biggest star sits on the bench, and its refusal to face that fact is bleeding millions of dollars by the day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but
these days, with so much manufactured drama and social media noise flying around, real facts are about as rare as a sold-out WNBA arena without Caitlin Clark in the building. When Clark went down with a quad injury on June 24th, it exposed just how much the league leans on one single player to keep things afloat. Now we're watching the same story play out again, since she's out indefinitely with a groin injury.
Because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then
nationally televised WNBA ratings fell off a cliff, down a staggering 55%, from an average of 1.818 million viewers with Clark playing to just 847,000 without her. Indiana Fever games specifically saw a 53% drop. But here's where things go from bad to absurd, and by absurd, we mean a disaster the league simply won't admit is its own doing.
Went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55%. Across the board.
And guess what, guys?
League is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 800.
While Caitlin Clark was out there doing what she does best, packing arenas, breaking TV ratings records, and pulling in record revenue, the WNBA was busy doing what it apparently does best, nothing, when it came to actually protecting its most valuable player. The league seems quick to lecture everyone about basketball fundamentals, yet lets opponents target a player responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity, with zero consequences. And here's the truly fascinating part, fascinating meaning infuriating, this isn't even the first time this exact thing has happened. The league just can't seem to learn from its own past. It's been burned before by injuries to its top player, watching both revenue and viewership tank as a result. It's like watching someone touch a hot stove, get burned, then immediately reach out and grab it again, insisting they had no idea it would hurt.
Is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark.
If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. Because the financial fallout here has been fast and brutal. Fever ticket prices have crashed 71%, with some seats dropping from $860 down to $250. Even more telling, across all of Clark's missed games, average ticket prices have plunged from $1,370 to just $80, which says everything about who's really drawing the crowds in this league. Venues that were upgraded to bigger arenas to handle Clark-fueled demand are now struggling to fill seats without her. Take the Sparks Fever rematch, one of the season's most hyped matchups, which once pulled in 2.25 million viewers, making it one of the most watched WNBA games ever. Tickets for that game have dropped from $210 to $95. Without Clark, it's just another game that casual fans aren't tuning in for.
Really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Veteran sports journalist Christine Brennan has emerged as one of the loudest critics of how the WNBA has handled its biggest star. Her upcoming book, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, is expected to call out the league's failures head-on. After Clark was once again singled out by opposing players, Brennan didn't hold back. The WNBA, she said, keeps failing to rise to the occasion, and right now, with more eyes on the league than ever, this is exactly what those new viewers are seeing. Her point is simple and sharp. League data shows Clark alone draws in more than half of all TV viewers. Yet she's still being hit with hard fouls and cheap shots clearly meant to rattle her. It's the equivalent of a restaurant letting customers mock the one chef who's actually bringing people through the door.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA has successfully broken.
It's turning into a frustrating, repetitive pattern. Clark keeps getting fouled by players who seem more focused on making a statement than actually playing the game. The Phoenix Mercury alone accounted for 80% of the league's 30 flagrant fouls against Clark, with 5 of those coming in 2026. And she can't win either way. If she pushes back against the physical play, she's labeled too aggressive. If she stays quiet, she's called too sensitive. The league hasn't stepped in to fix a situation where nobody comes out ahead. Meanwhile, the financial damage isn't limited to the Fever, it's hitting the entire WNBA. The league was already on track to lose $50 million this year, even with the boost in popularity Clark brought. And when she's not playing, those losses accelerate fast, attendance sinks back to pre-Clark levels, TV ratings drop, and merchandise sales stall out.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the W.
The most frustrating part of all this is that none of it had to happen. When Clark first arrived in the league, she came across as a humble rookie, constantly shifting credit onto her teammates instead of herself. She handled criticism with a level of grace and maturity rare for someone just 22 years old. The league had a real opportunity here to support her, protect her, and ride her popularity to lift up the entire sport. Instead, pettiness and internal politics got in the way of what should have been a moment to celebrate women's basketball. And the fallout goes well beyond ticket sales and TV numbers. Corporate sponsors poured millions into deals built around Clark's rise, and now, with her sidelined, some are starting to question whether those investments still make sense. All of this points to a bigger identity crisis for the WNBA. The league wants to be respected as a serious professional sport, while also leaning into every manufactured controversy that drives social media buzz. But it can't have both. Real professional leagues protect their stars and keep competition fair. Drama chasing for attention is something else entirely, more like a high school clique stirring up gossip to stay relevant.
Where to begin, man? I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt?
Compared to other pro sports leagues, the gap here is glaring and frankly embarrassing. Imagine if the NBA let players go after LeBron James with dirty plays for months, all while insisting the league was simply about fair competition. That would get shut down immediately, with suspensions handed out before you could even finish saying flagrant foul. Yet the WNBA seems willing to let this kind of treatment slide, almost as if any attention, good or bad, is good enough. The result? Fans are tuning out of other games, no longer trusting that the sport is being officiated fairly, thanks to a toxic atmosphere created by the league's failure to protect its biggest star. And when your own fanbase says they won't watch games without your top player because they don't trust the officiating, that's not just a ratings problem, that's a credibility crisis.
I admire about Caitlin. She's a warrior. She's tough. You hear me? Bruh, you just don't see players, you don't see female basketball players like her. I'm sorry. I done seen a lot of female basketball.
The WNBA has had chance after chance to fix this, and every time, it's fallen short, making the whole situation worse. Each incident involving Clark should have pushed the league to set clear, firm rules around player safety and fair competition. Instead, the response has been the same tired line about letting players play. Ironically, the clearest proof of Clark's value has come from her being hurt, the very outcome the league should have worked hardest to avoid. That 55% viewership drop isn't some minor footnote. And there's little sign the WNBA has actually absorbed the lesson. League officials keep reaching for phrases like competitive balance and letting players be physical, as if hard fouls and dangerous plays were just part of the game, while treating ordinary plays involving Clark like major incidents. Meanwhile, the genuinely dangerous hits against her keep getting overlooked.
I believe the physicality and all this hacking and fouling that goes on, she getting blindsided by Marina Mabrey. I think all of this stuff is having a wear and tear and an impact. And all you guys are doing are hurting yourselves. Because the numbers are going to drop and drop and drop. And trust me, when it's time for that collective bargaining agreement, they are going to point to this and say, well, how can we give you guys all this money? What happens?
The WNBA needs to figure out what kind of league it actually wants to be, and honestly, the fix isn't complicated. If they want to be taken seriously as a professional basketball organization, they need to start acting like one. That means setting real player safety rules and actually sticking to them. Manufactured controversy can't keep overshadowing the basketball itself. Most importantly, the league needs to recognize that its biggest draws, the players who genuinely fill arenas and drive TV numbers, deserve protection from targeting that only fuels social media drama. The steady decline in revenue, attendance, and viewership since Clark stepped away is a stark reminder of where the league stood before she arrived, and where it could end up again if nothing changes. This season's average viewership without Clark sat at just 555,000, well below last year's 670,000 average. Those numbers look a lot like a return to the old days, half-empty arenas and low-stakes games watched mostly by die-hard fans.
The way they play the game, because I love the WNBA, I love the way they play the game. But we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She going for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate?
The most frustrating part is that none of this was inevitable. Had the WNBA properly protected and promoted its star player, it could have used her popularity as the foundation for lasting success. Instead, it built something far more fragile, a setup that collapses the moment its top draw steps off the court. Until the league figures out how to protect and elevate the players who actually generate real interest, it's going to keep riding this same roller coaster, where one player's presence or absence decides whether anyone tunes in at all. The real question is whether the WNBA will finally learn to safeguard what it has, or keep repeating this pattern until it's burned through every advantage Clark's popularity handed them. Based on everything so far, it doesn't look like the league is in any hurry to get smarter about this. Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. See you there.